Hi, my name is Lucy Trueman. I'm a workplace psychologist. I specialise in change and transformation. I'm also the founder of Trueman Change. And this video is my top 3 psychology concepts that I think are particularly relevant in the world of change and transformation. So ideally, you want your managers and leaders having a good grasp of these 3 things. So number 1 is motivation. There's so much research out there about motivation, and honestly, we could make reams and reams of videos about it, but there is some really interesting stuff around things that we know impact people's motivation, things like autonomy, relationships with the people that they work with, a sense of mastery over their work, and there's also really interesting research around people's motivation towards risk and reward and how it is different in different people. So all that super relevant when you're going through a change program, because you're going to need to be able to motivate people to work in a different way. So understanding those concepts is really important. Number 2, culture. One of the really big mistakes I think organizations make is they invest heavily in the process side of change. So they will invest in project and program management, and they will have clear outlines and plans. And I'm not saying any of that isn't important. Of course, that structure is absolutely crucial, but you can do all that work, and if you don't understand the culture of your organization, the change will not land. So there are ways of really understanding culture in an in-depth way that enables you to take action on it and make changes where you need to. So number 2 is absolutely culture. Number 3 is a less known one. So this is not as common, but it is something that I personally find really fascinating and I think applies very much in the world of public sector, which is where most of my work is. And that is polarity management. So polarity management is the concept of where you are having to negotiate tensions between 2 extremes. So how does this apply to change? So if you are going through a change program, there will be times when you need to navigate a high level of governance, but also be able to operate at pace. So you can see how those 2 things are tensions. There will be times when you need to be very directive, but there will also be times when you need to be very co-produce and engage with your people and let them take the lead. So the ability to understand these kind of what look at face value as extremes and be able to operate in a world where you can draw from both of them and navigate between them is such a brilliant leadership skill, and one that we often don't necessarily vocalize. We just expect people to have an instinct for it without necessarily talking through it. So those 3 things, motivation, culture and polarity management, can actually be applied to pretty much any situation. So I've done work with organizations on looking at hybrid working through those lenses, looking at partnership working through those lenses. So whatever your change is, whatever your priorities are, making sure that your leaders understand those concepts is a really great start. If you would like to do some work with me, to run some workshops with your people and to start exploring some of these things in more detail, then by all means, please give me a shout. I'd love to work with you.